Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how to convert this old doghouse into a functional chicken coop for minimal cost that can actually start producing you guys some eggs. And I'm going to be going into how to build it first, and then going over some of the pros and cons that I liked with this build. Let's jump into it. So we were lucky enough to pick up this doghouse for free on Facebook Marketplace. Definitely going to need some alterations though in order to make this into a nice chicken coop. First of all, we have some rot on the roof, so we want to rip off the roof. There's a board underneath here as well. So that's going to be in the way of their roosting area, so we're going to rip that out as well. Going to cut a hole off the back of this and make a nice door so that we can scoop out the poop and clean up and get in there nice and easily. And lastly, we're going to put off a nice nesting box on the side so we can collect eggs easily from the side. Let's get started. First step in this process is to remove that roof. It's rotten, so we need to remove it anyways, and this is going to gain us access into the structure. And then once inside, we're going to see all this insulation on top that we're going to have to remove. It was great for a doghouse, but we need to remove that top board in order to be able to make that roosting bar, so we're going to remove that. And then we can start to remove the side board where we're going to put the nesting box on the side, and then that back board in order to build a door, that back door. So chickens want to have a 12-inch wide nesting box by 12 inches deep, but they want to have it 14 inches high. So I'm going to cut out this 36 by 14 inches high. 36 inches is going to give me 3 nesting boxes at 12 inches wide, and then that 14 inches tall is going to give them enough room. And then I can start to build off of that to get the nesting boxes off the side. So I got that cut out. It's nice and level with the floor, so I'll be able to put a 2x4 in here and make everything nice and level, which is great. And I added the 2x4s in here to make everything nice and level so that when it comes time to clean it, you don't get poop stuck on a ledge or something like that. Then I went ahead and removed some of the siding and cut out the back door, and then added all the hardware in order to make it a functional door. So it's the next day. It was getting a little bit dark last night, so I decided to just kind of push through and start building this nesting box. It wasn't going to be too dark for you guys to really see anyways. So what I've got is a bunch of 2x4s cut together so it builds the frame out for the nesting box. I basically just need to wrap it in plywood and then attach it to the actual chicken coop, and we'll have a good nesting box. Got to build the lid and everything as well, so let's get to that. Using these clamps makes things so much easier to keep it exactly where you want to, and then you go ahead and put in a couple of screws, and that's just going to keep everything nice and tight together. All right, so I've got the nesting boxes secured, just the dividers. They're pretty snug up top. This one was a little loose. I just put a couple of stoppers in there. This one was pretty tight, so I just left it as is, which was fine. And then I've just got a couple of stoppers on all the sides so that if you need to, you can slide this in and out, but it also keeps it nice and spaced out between all the boxes. So at this point I went ahead and cut out the rest of the walls for the nesting box, and luckily I just had some particle board from the doghouse that I had taken out from the other walls, and I just used that to cut and then use for the walls of the nesting box. And I actually went ahead and insulated the bottom of the nesting box as well because I pulled out some insulation, had some extra lying around, and I figured why not. I just put this roosting bar in. I cut them to an angle so they fit in nicely. And I also put it diagonally just gives them a little bit more space. This is a smaller coop, and if we did want to put like 6 chickens in here, it would be nice to have a little more space for the roosting rather than putting it on one edge so they get an extra foot or something like that. So I've also heard that chickens actually prefer a flat roost. I see a lot of people putting in round dowels to kind of like, so the chickens can kind of go like this on it, round their feet around it. But I've heard it's actually better for the feet to put a flat roost in, so that's what I went ahead and did. That's diagonally. The nesting boxes look great. Everything's nice and flush down at the bottom there, so that'll make cleaning it out nice and easy. Just have to put a roof on top of the nesting box and then put the roof on the main box here. So before I go ahead and put on the other side of the roof, I wanted to make sure to get all this spray foam done, as you guys can see kind of along the edge right here. I wanted to make sure that no draft is getting in and no wind's gonna be getting into the coop so that the chickens get nice and cold. Don't want that, so it's nice and sealed up now. I'm gonna go ahead and clean all of this spray foam up, all the excess, and then I can go ahead and put on the other 2 roofs. So I don't know how to roof, but luckily for me, I know someone that does know how to roof. And I've never done shingles before, so this is totally new to me, but I had him help me kind of figure out this lip here. This is working as a hinge right now. I am gonna put some more hinges over it, but nicely enough, I'll have the shingles that go over top of this metal, and then I'll have more shingles that go over top of the metal here, and that'll allow this nice transition of no water getting in that seam there. And it's looking really good so far. So I've got the shingles all done. I just have a little spot right here to do. I ran out of these nice washer screws they use for tin. So I'm just gonna put a couple more there and another couple there to fill in that gap. But other than that, this lid lifts up nicely with that metal behind it, and then the shingles go right there. So any water will be coming down and it'll all drain off. The only thing I'm not happy with is obviously this top capping, but I'm not a roofer, so this is going to keep it nice and dry. I've got this one folded over, so it's not going to get any water on there, and then this one's also folded over, and then you've got the ridge cap on there. So it's not pretty, but it is definitely going to do the job. And then this side, these were a couple of mistakes I had, obviously. A couple of nails showing this piece because I just was running out of shingles, so I had to make them a little bit shorter, so I have that showing a little bit. But other than that, it's looking really good. The bottom side went really nicely. Since it was my first time shingling, I was really happy with how that went. But overall, this is coming really good. So now the moment of truth. You guys are probably wondering, why was this guy building his entire coop in the back of his truck? Well, I could have taken it out of my truck and then done it in the garage because obviously it's wintertime and it would have been warmer, but it's nice to have all my tools there. And then when it came time to actually move this into my backyard, I didn't have to lift up this heavy coop, get it into the truck, and then bring it to the backyard. So I figured, I'll just do all the work at the back of my truck, and it made things pretty easy. And I honestly struggled quite a bit with getting these legs onto the coop because just moving the coop and how heavy it was starting to bend the screws out of the boards and stuff like that. So once I did manage to get it into place and had all the legs on, I did put those 2x4s to support it so that there was that extra support and I didn't have those legs folding over on me. So we got the chicken coop in place where we want it. Obviously it's just getting dark now, so that'll be kind of it for tonight of day 3. But had to put some supports on the legs. Once we got those on, everything came together nicely and it's nice and sturdy. Unfortunately, the bottom is frozen right now, so not going to be able to actually level it all out and make sure this coop is exactly where it needs to sit. But I still got to do the door, and I got to do the ventilation and build a ramp for it as well. I hummed and hawed about this door quite a bit. I ended up putting this on as kind of like a temporary thing, and then as temporary things go, they become permanent. I wanted to put that automatic door that opens and closes with sunrise and sunset and stuff, so that the chickens could come in and come out and not have to wait for us to open and close the door. But unfortunately, with the conditions here, we live in kind of northern central Canada, and it gets really cold in the wintertime and can be minus 30 degrees Celsius and stuff like that. And the reviews that I read online is they get stuck in the wintertime. So I was going to spend $100 to get this automatic chicken door, and then for it to get stuck and become quite a pain and a hassle, I just decided it wasn't worth it, and I can just come up and open them, you know, every day and stuff like that. The nesting box worked really well. It was a bit of a pain. Like, I did want to get like a gas powered kind of cylinder so that this would stay open all the time. But when you've got two hands and you're not trying to hold a mic and hold this thing at the same time and try to latch it up, it actually works quite well to be able to collect eggs. And it's really nice to have some sort of nesting box where you can come in the top and just grab the eggs, and it's also easy to clean out if you need to. This back door has been awesome when I need to clean it, so you can just open it up off the back. A wheelbarrow fits right underneath it, at least mine does, so I kind of measured it out to make sure the wheelbarrow height was going to be perfect with this. And then it's just flush right here, like I talked about already, so I can just take a hoe or some sort of shovel, and I can just scrape everything into the wheelbarrow really nice and easily, and then I can wheel it away, and then I can just put some new straw or hay or whatever I put in here. One thing I did kind of have to figure out with this coop is I don't have a big window that they can just have open up for airflow, but also just get a bunch of light in there. So what I've done is I've put that light bulb inside of the coop and then attached it to this electric timer, and then ran power all the way to the house with an extension cord. Not a huge fan of the extension cord, but it has worked well enough for me. Would be nice to have some sort of like solar panel system connected to a battery. Maybe that's a later video that I can do, but for now the extension cord attached to the electric timer, so it comes on around 4 a.m. and then it turns off around 9 a.m. just to make sure that I have enough time to get them open in the morning, and that's going to give them that 16 hours of light. I'm not going to put that on during the winter time so they can give them a bit of a break from laying, but for this time of year they're not getting quite enough light with this coop. There is the 2 air vents, and I haven't had any issues with smell or being too hot or too cold or anything in there, but I definitely find it's pretty dark in there without the light on. So running the light to the coop has been a nice touch for the time being. So one thing I did do was I built this gate, nice kind of entrance to get into the run and stuff. Super simple, just another latch, and that closes nicely. And then I built a really nice big run across the whole thing, just because I didn't want this area to get all muddy, and then they can actually free range and forage. As you can kind of see right now, they run around and find bugs and eat the grass and all that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty nice area for them, and it's nice and big. Like, there's only 5 chickens in here right now, and I haven't had any issues with the grass dying. I didn't want this to become a big mud pit, which is one of my biggest concerns when having a run. Yes, it's not enclosed, so like predators and birds and stuff can potentially get in here, but there is like a decent amount of cover around here, so I haven't had any issues with birds yet, and hopefully I don't have any in the future with like hawks or eagles or something coming in here and actually like picking off the chickens. We have had a fox in here now, and it did get one of our roosters, which we were trying to get rid of anyways, so we just have the one now, which won't stop crowing, but it's nice to have a rooster in the pen just to kind of protect the birds as well. So as far as costs go for this coop, a lot of the wood that I used was scrap wood lying around, so it didn't cost me anything to actually build this, but it obviously cost some money up front. I bought an 8-foot 4x4 it might have been a 10-foot, but high enough in order to get the 4 legs on the coop. And then I bought a couple of 2x4s for the legs. I bought the shingles, another piece of plywood for the roof, and then yeah, some gate latches and stuff like that. So I think my costs around for this chicken coop were in the $400 to $500 range. That's including all of the chicken supplies as well, like their water, their feeder, buying the chickens themselves, which I think were 20 bucks a piece or something like that. So, and we've been really fortunate. These are really good laying hens, and we've been getting 3 to 4 eggs a day, and nice, big, awesome, really delicious eggs. So been really happy having these chickens. It's been a lot of fun being able to give them the kitchen scraps and stuff like that so they can feed, and being able to see them free range and stuff and know that they're really happy in here has been really nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing. I've got a bunch of other stuff coming up, a part of this homestead in our half-acre lot here, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for those. Until next time, guys, take care.